Day 55 Lockdown Golf Podcast, and whoo, baby, has it been a weekend for not only myself and Chris McEwen, but especially Chris McEwen, but the great nation of the United States of America as a whole. Whoo!
Going through some stuff, man.
Going through some stuff is the right way to put it. I've been thinking about all weekend what we should talk about, how deep we should go into this. I don't think we're going to go super deep, but given the events in Chicago on Saturday night hit extremely close to home for my genuine and beloved friend, Chris McEwen.
Yeah.
I thought we should just open the show with a little bit of, hey, tell us what's going on. Tell us how you are.
Yeah, well, thankfully we're fine. We're safe. But I got to say yesterday, which was Saturday as we record this on Sunday, or Saturday as you see this on Thursday. Saturday was an intense day, man. It was from about noon for the rest of the night. It was helicopters and sirens. That's all we heard the entire day. So for those that don't know, where you saw those riots, where you saw the looting and all that kind of stuff, that was my neighborhood. That was literally where I live. Like this morning, took the dog out and the 7-Eleven was trashed and emptied. The CVS down the street was trashed and emptied. I should have sent you a picture of Wrigleyville Sports.
Yeah, I heard they got it pretty bad.
I mean, it was all the windows are gone. Everything in the store is gone. It's just bizarre. They even, for whatever reason, decided to smash the window of the dry cleaners. I don't know, but they didn't go in there or anything. But yeah, that was my neighborhood. They were, and the protesters from 1 until 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I mean, there were some scuffles and things and some stuff that you would kind of expect between protesters and police officers. But otherwise, for about 4 hours, things were pretty okay. Mm-hmm. We saw them. They were down about 4 blocks from the house, from the condo, and we could see, the police line and all that kind of stuff. And everyone was just kind of making their point, which was fine. And then once the sun started to go down, things got pretty ugly, and pretty violent, obviously. So yeah, it's something, I don't know, how to describe the feeling when the sirens and the helicopters that you hear outside your window, you hear on the newscast. Mm-hmm. At the same time. It's like, it's super unnerving and just like they were right here. It was pretty crazy.
How close are you to that video that was going viral of the bike shop that was getting looted? And so
next door. So it's on the other side of our street. So that's 1 block over, 1 block north, where the guy opened fire.
I would say somebody dropped something from their balcony to try to like deter the guy, and then he just was shooting up at the balcony.
Yeah. So that was the other thing that started to happen, is that right around 8 o'clock, from 8 until 10. So the curfew was implemented, for 9 o'clock, but obviously that didn't stop anybody.
Issued at 8:30 p.m. I might add.
Yeah, with every bridge in the city up, every on-ramp closed, no trains, no buses, anything like that. But yeah, the gunshots started around, between 8 to 10. So I think 4 people were shot. 2 of them were down the street from us. So yeah, it was crazy, man. It's still like, not only that, but just the sense of, you're just kind of that thing where you're just waiting for something terrible to happen. Like that was us for like 8 hours yesterday, from like 5 o'clock until we finally were like, we got to try to go to bed, go to sleep.
What's going on?
Just nonstop.
God, I can't imagine. I couldn't, I was up like every 45 minutes last night just from having dreams. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
Living there. I mean, you're living.
Yeah, it was intense. That's the only way I can describe it. It was just super intense. and it was super unnerving. And I mean, I got so my wife this morning, because she's an amazing human being, went out um, to help clean up. Of course, I had a tea time, so I did that. But I wish I would have. I should have stayed home and helped, because she said it was like super therapeutic. Lots of people out. She got interviewed by WBEZ, um, and she actually started kind of choking up and breaking down a little bit during that discussion. Um, but yeah, there's this mixture of there's this mixed feeling of like you want to support the cause, like, and I do support the cause. Obviously, I mean, I we love a good protest, we love a good march. We've done them a few times here in the city, um, but then there's this like just sadness that comes over you about what's going on, the situation, why they're protesting, why they have to protest, why they feel this is necessary, and then when you see, these, I mean, these are neighborhood places um, just totally destroyed. And I get like 7-Eleven's a major brand, CVS is a major brand, Walgreens is, but these are, the 7-Eleven that is on the corner of our street. I mean, it's owned and operated by, this husband and wife.
Well, what everyone
And
keeps saying, especially where you live, like, man, F these people. All these people in River North can afford it. And everybody in River North is loaded. And it's like, well, while yes, there are plenty that are, that's just not true. And then all these
yeah,
businesses can afford, there aren't any mom and pops down here. It's like, dude, the third
that's just not
generation
true.
camera store has been open since
Yeah.
1899, and the
I
bike
mean,
store.
Cozy's, the bike shop. Yeah, I mean that place has been there forever, and it's the neighborhood bike shop. It's not. I mean, the restaurant that's down the block that we go to, well, we used to go to once a week, and we're basically regulars. It's like these aren't. I get it. I get that. We are a bit more well off than many neighborhoods, and I get the believe me, that's not the first time we've heard those things about River North. We joke about it all the time, um, but yeah, it's not, that's not really the case. I mean, there was a like a cigar shop in the neighborhood that got just cleaned out. They took everything. They took the register. He can't even reopen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's got, obviously no product, but they took everything. The Domino's pizza place, right? Domino's, it's Domino's pizza. It's this huge thing. They can't, the guy was like near tears. The guy who owns the place was near tears because like they took his equipment. He can't even make a pizza right now. It's just like, it's just that kind of stuff. And it's so sad.
Well, it's
Just
tough because
breaks your heart.
when you're pro, like, I mean, I think the line when before it hit Chicago, we were texting back and forth about Minneapolis, and
Yeah.
we're like the line was, the point of protesting and rioting is we've tried to get people to listen, they haven't. Maybe this will get their attention, but so call that the like first 25%, the next 75%'s the looting. So it's
Yeah.
funny because the destruction part, I can't tell you if you're understanding the protest. I can't tell you I don't understand how destruction happens. And my
Right.
problem isn't so, and even a lot of the, like, the big line has been a lot of these store owners going, you know what, if my store is part of this, my store is part of this. I'm not worried
Hmm.
about that, and I'm more worried about justice and the right thing taking place in the
Totally.
message. So that's great.
Totally.
But then it's, I saw this one cop in a minority majority neighborhood somewhere else in the country, and he was going on saying it's not the people protesting looking to send a message that are stealing everything and causing like the majority of these issues. And you know what, they're not wrong. It's not the people who are going, I'm going to go
Right.
march and make a point and try to get change here. It's the people who are just looking to, I don't even
Right.
know, because I don't want to even like typecast that,
Yeah, I know.
but
It's
it's
really it's a really odd for us, for my wife and I. It's an odd feeling because we don't really know how. Like we get it, man. We get all of it. I mean, as much as we can, right? We're a couple of white,
destroying
affluent,
right.
Americans. But yeah, I mean,
Destroying the
but
business is one thing, but being like, "Oh, sick! I got 8 new pair." I'll just say I saw this video. This kid, this on a skateboard, white kid. coming out of a van store with like 8 boxes of Van slip-ons, and you're like,
Yeah, yeah.
nailed it. You're really sending the message
Yeah,
home.
right. And I mean, the thing is too is like, so yes, it was our neighborhood, but we're off the beaten path. That's why we actually love where we live, because we can go one block and be in it, right? And be in. We have all the restaurants and the stores and all that kind of stuff. But really, we're kind of off. And so for them to get over to us, um, and then just I mean, there was video of the CVS that we go to, um, getting broken in, and there's no, I mean, there's nobody else around. They just walked up to it with a hammer, broke all the windows, and walked in and took whatever they want. Let me just say something else too about the looting and stuff. Like, you want to go and steal Vans and Nikes and food and beer and all that stuff, that's fine. But while my wife was out there cleaning up this morning, she was coming across people's empty uh, prescription
Yeah,
medication
people can't get
bags.
their medicine they
So
need
now
to literally
people
live.
don't have, right. People can't get the medicine they need, and it just, that's the part of it where I don't think I certainly hadn't thought it through. Like, it never occurred to me, like, yeah, I get, you want to break into a place and steal a bunch of shit, go ahead, man, whatever. But like, there's like this other side of like, and you don't know who you're stealing that from. Like, it could, it's rough. It's heartbreaking, and it's super confusing for us. It's very mixed emotions, but yeah, anyways, yesterday was quite the thing. And then today when I was coming home from golf, I got 5 miles from the condo, and I didn't get home for another 45 minutes because you can't, all of the exits from 18th to Division are shut down. You can't get through them. And so I had to go all the way down to like Armitage.
Mm.
Chicago, no one outside Chicago knows this, but I had to go down to Armitage and then come back up. So I had to go way north and then come back south, which is, whatever. I'm not going to complain too much about that, but it was just one of those things where I got to near my exit. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I can't. And that's been since yesterday. Right now there are 7 state troopers blocking the ramp
Says me
outside
my
my window.
45 minutes, but don't worry, Chad got his tea time today. Uh,
Right.
um,
You can get out of the city. You can't get in the city right now. You cannot get into the city.
yeah.
There's
Well,
no trains. There's no buses. You can't get you can't get into an
I
exit.
think I read a great line that said, CTA and metros are shut down, for so much time completely. One, it's the first time since, God, I forgot what it was, maybe 9/11, and it's like we've
Mm,
survived polar vortexes, blah, 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 and
yeah.
it's the first time since 9/11 that there's been no public transit vehicles working in Chicago. But then I read this other line that was great. It said, "You've been running these things nonstop, completely empty for 2 months, losing
Yeah,
money,
that's
and now when people actually
right.
need them,
Yeah.
you're not running."
Right. You're shutting it down. I know. That's kind of true. Yeah, the curfew thing last night was not great
I have been
because people couldn't leave. Not that they were going to leave anyways, but if they wanted to, or they decided they were
and there
going
were
to.
people who are like, "I've been trying to get out of here and I can't."
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta tell you, reading enough things, been pretty pro Lori in the last couple months, and
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
48 hours are not gonna play well for her, I don't think. Um,
Yeah, it's that's interesting. It's I love our mayor. I think she's great. Yeah, but yeah, the curfew thing wasn't great. Um, but otherwise I'm not sure what else she
this
was
is
going to
we're yeah,
do.
we're hitting territory, and yeah, stick to golf here, boys. But let's so before we wrap this up,
Yeah.
what is so I know in the morning is pretty quiet, a lot of people cleaning up, but it sounds like midday-ish. Oh, by the way, I wasn't gonna text you because I didn't feel like you needed it probably from another person, because I'm sure everybody's been hitting you up. But that's a big thing you're not supposed to do is walk your dog because of all the
Yeah.
broken glass. So
Yeah.
that's
Well,
that
he's
senior fella did not need. you putting him in more harm's way. He's old enough.
So
He's got a bad
you know this
knee.
though, right? You know this right now because the prince is he gets uh, he gets into his stroller and goes directly to the park.
Oh, I didn't realize that's how it
He
worked.
doesn't. Yeah, he can't walk right now. I mean, he can walk on the concrete, but his limp is much more prevalent on the concrete.
So
So
he gets
he gets
stroller to the
strolled.
park, then he gets
Yeah,
out, does his business, back in the stroller.
exactly.
Okay,
That's
then
how that goes.
all right,
Right.
then we're fine.
But I do want to say real quick, you did it and I appreciate it. But like for everyone that was texting me to check in, make sure I was okay, I really do appreciate that. That was very nice of
You
everyone.
just don't know. Like you don't know. Your whole building
Yeah.
could have been engulfed,
No.
or it could have been
And
perfectly fine.
it was cool too because like a lot of people I hadn't heard from like for like a year or something, whatever. And but like I'm the one person they know in the city, and then I'm the one person they certainly know in River North. So
As I say, they had to
uh,
make sure your cake eater ass was all right.
that's all right. That's right. My bougie ass was safe, which we
Seriously,
are.
Christ's sake.
We are.
But yeah, things midday today, it sounded like the buzz started picking back up again, and I don't think it doesn't sound like it's trending toward last night by any means, but it doesn't sound like tonight's going to be too quiet. We have the National Guard returning. What's
Yeah.
the scene like there for you right now as you look out your
It's
window?
it's a little more subdued. But there is a group that we just saw before I jumped on here. Um, there's a group down on like State and they look like they were heading over to Trump Tower, so they're walking away from us.
Well, so now we're
Um,
past the looting. Now it's like we got more business to take
yeah,
care of.
yeah, and it was a very very small group. I mean, it was 30 people or something. So, um, they still have everything shut down. There were some sirens that we hear because there's any police officer that's going to where the action was going past our house. So it was like, oh god, it was just nonstop yesterday. But right now it's pretty. I would say it's relatively subdued and pretty calm, and
That's
everything for the most part they did a big group of people marched down to like 95th and State, which is where the police headquarters was. But that's way far away from me. So
Meanwhile, we have in the suburbs the drama started kicking off out here today. Um, it sounded. I mean, it's funny following along on Twitter how much of it is true and how much of it gets invalidated as soon as
yeah,
possible. But
yeah,
we I mean, I was like 3 in the afternoon, like the Glen Ellen Walmart's been looted, this Best Buy's been looted, they've stormed Yorktown Mall, and then it's like guys replying, I am literally parked right outside of it right now. There's no one here. Yes, there are cops and but
yeah,
it's not happened. But they did shut down like right around 5 p.m. I think it was like full in effect, but I mean,
yeah,
not just in my town, but it's a lot of the surrounding suburbs. They shut all the businesses down, and they're like, just
yeah.
got to you. I'm sure there's intel leading them to think, and there's a reason for it, but they're taking it pretty serious out here in the at least in the western burbs. And it sounds like it was
You
pretty much the whole around the lake.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, you guys probably don't have like a Twitter like scanner handle. Like we have Chicago Scanner.
Yeah, I follow the Chicago one, and sometimes
Yeah,
or I should say a Chicago one, and it covers suburbs sometimes, and you follow the police department, whatever. But
yeah,
all you have to do on the Twitter app on your phone is just like search for your town. Here, pro tip for anybody listening: you search for your town, and anything, it is a search for anybody tweeting about it, and then you can sort by latest, so you can kind of just get up to, and it's reading through a
yeah,
lot of like bullshit too. And I mean, there's a
yeah.
lot
Of
of like
course.
they're like, don't come to our town. Here's all the rich towns you need to go to. And it's like, some of them like, we're not even rich, but, and they're like, what are you targeting?
What's the difference between a Best Buy in one town and a Best Buy in the other? It
Well,
doesn't
what do
matter.
you like? And then of course you're like, this isn't protesting. This is looting and theft. Like if that's your only motive to go stick it to the rich people, what's the point, you know?
Yeah,
And then my
right,
other favorite was, Schaumburg is trending. And I don't even think just locally, like Schaumburg, which is home to Woodfield Mall, huge
right.
mall, like
Yeah,
internationally known,
second biggest next to Mall of America. Right,
maybe.
used to be the biggest.
my line of work. I should know that answer, but I don't.
Yeah, you should.
I'm a tech guy, okay? So everyone's like, they're in Woodfield, they're looting Woodfield. Look at this video of this guy driving an SUV through it. And it's like it's that
Oh
video
wow,
from
that's
last
from the
year.
yeah
So
yeah.
like, and then of course we're like, no, Woodfield. I mean, as of recording this, maybe something's changed, but prior to getting out, like, no, Woodfield's not being looted.
No, they seem pretty good. That scanner thing, though, I think that's it. This is the other thing too, is that you want to get away from it. Like when we were down here, we're like, turn the TV off, right?
Right.
But then ultimately, you just like you have to know what's going on,
Yeah.
and so you pull up like the Chicago scanner thing. And
Oh, when I was
the
texting with
number
you,
of
the other night, I just flat out, rather than like refresh it or look for it, I just started following the Minneapolis one. I was addicted.
oh yeah, right. I mean, that's what happens. Like you have to know what was happening, and the number of like you could feel things start to escalate. So from like 1 to 4, like I think I'd mentioned 1 to 5, whatever it was, things were pretty okay. And then the 10-1 started. And when you hear a 10-1, that's like a huge deal in the police world. Like they don't call, so 10-1s, as the ex-husband of a police officer, 10-1s are like officer needs help, assistance. Like it's the call. Like it's the call of all calls. And then before you knew it, there were 10-1s every 30 seconds
Yeah.
that were getting called in. It was like, this is going to get bad, like you knew right away.
Did you see though? They've started on Twitter, at least they've started catching all these scanner accounts lying and making stuff up. That's been like the new thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
now
See,
I'm
I
like,
guess
I'm
that's true.
questioning all of them.
Yeah. We had I mean, we've always followed, not followed, but we always kept an eye. We know who the accounts are that were pre-protest days, right? So we knew who the sources were that we could kind of rely on,
Well,
right?
even, I mean,
I think we started watching it like when the Cubs won the World Series or something.
you can also download a
2016.
million apps that you can actually listen
Oh
to
yeah,
the scanner. So
for sure. It's on YouTube too.
yeah.
You can go and listen to it there. But yeah, anyways,
So we talked.
crazy, man.
I
It's
feel
crazy.
like we spent. Hey, stick to golf. I don't come here for this shit. Yeah, sorry, this is a significant thing, and to be honest
It's
with you,
impossible.
well,
Yeah.
and we've barely tapped into like where we stand in our beliefs. So we're not forcing any agenda on you. So don't even give me that business. But
Yeah, you and I could fill a show easily just on this one
yeah, so
topic.
we're not going to. We're going to move on to now
No.
fan favorites of the Lockdown Golf podcast. And it feels, I'll be honest, I'm going to be this douchebag for you real quick. It feels petty to do anything else in this show. I don't like
I know.
pretending the rest of the world doesn't exist right now. And
I know.
I'm anxious to see already if I'm going to lose, like how I'm going to sleep tonight. For a variety of reasons, I'll just say that. And then like what's work going to be like tomorrow, just go about my life here in my little suburban basement,
Yeah. It's
but
weird,
anyway,
man. But
we'll
I totally get it. Yeah.
we'll cover some not related things and pretend the rest of the world's going on. I will
Right.
open this with this big update on an ongoing topic on this show, and I sent you the
That's
media
right.
about it
Oh my
yesterday.
God. I had already forgotten about this. That's right.
I
Oh my God. This
had
dude, this is
multiple
unbelievable.
face-to-face communications. I'm hesitant to call them conversations. Definitely confrontations with the raccoon. He's back. Well, he's never
Oh
left,
man.
but I
Right.
mean, he
This
brazen.
Oh my God. I'm going to do my very best to try to splice in video. Can I show the video? Am I allowed?
Yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
great.
So
Just so people understand, like, first of all, he's gigantic.
mhm.
The thing is huge. Second of all, it's broad daylight, so he doesn't give
It's
a
dusk.
shit.
It's dusk.
It's still like, I mean, it's daytime. I mean,
Mhm.
come on. And he looks like he's it. Like he's just kind of hanging out.
Mayor of the goddamn town.
He's the sewer. He was just hanging out in the sewer though, like
He's
just like hanging out.
You need someone to implement a curfew in Glen Ellen? Call me. I'm the raccoon. I'll take care of it. Yeah.
Man, that was oh my God, that
I'm
was
sitting in
amazing.
my chair on our makeshift patio. That's another story for another day. and so we live on a corner, and my daughter is off a ways. I can see her, but I can't see anything to the corner. And she's like, "Oh, there's a raccoon," and I'm like, "Haha." She's like, "Ah, there he is," and starts walking. And I go, "No, is he? Wait, are you serious? He's really?" She's like, "Yeah, he's right there." And I stand up, and there's that son of a bitch standing right up
Oh,
on top of the sewer thing. I'm like, "Phew." And she wants to like walk over and
right.
like,
Pet
how
him, feed him
stay
some
away from me.
Doritos or
Yeah,
something.
right. So yeah, that was the first encounter with him. And then so I went and I said, I finally have that chance I've been talking about. Like, let's talk about this. I'll cut a deal with you. And so I said my piece. I go, I know he's not gonna accept it, but so I send that video to you. I think I just sent the picture. I don't think I sent the video to the
Yeah,
sub 70 guys because they use little inside baseball here, guys. They use Android phones, so I know iPhone to Android videos and vice versa always look shitty. So I didn't even
yeah.
bother. And then I went about my business. I came back, I don't know, maybe a half hour later, and I'm like, what's that? There's like a lump over there. There he is again, just sitting outside the sewer.
It's
And then he had the
unbelievable.
audacity to like
It's
come in. He gets out of the sewer and then starts like walking away from me the opposite direction. I was like, hey, yo, turns around, comes back to the sewer, and he's kind of in that like deer in a headlight stance, ready to move. I was like, I told you not to come back.
right,
We made a
right.
deal. What are you doing here? Come on, man. Sick of this.
Oh man, that guy. So how much do you think he weighs? 20 pounds?
I was gonna
He's
say
bigger
like
than my dog.
I was gonna say an easy 165 pounds, easy. He like
Right. So he's the size. He's bigger than I am.
yeah.
Great.
Oh no, Chris McEwen even under duress finds a humble brag in the show. What do you
I'm a,
know?
I'm a little human. What do you mean? That's not a humble brag.
Jesus.
I'm a tiny little guy. Although I will say, I put on a pair of shorts today. No, 2 days ago for the first time, and I'm down a belt loop from those pairs of shorts. So
So we got two brags there. All right, great. Chris McEwen. I haven't been able to work out because of COVID, but I'm still down about loop. I don't know, guys. I'm in really
it's
good
because I
shape.
lost all the muscle that I
Did
had.
you guys know I walk when I golf because I'm really focused on exercise. That raccoon's bigger than me, you're saying. Okay, Chris, we get it. You're pretty. Yeah, that raccoon's huge. All right.
But really, that dude he's massive, and he doesn't give a shit about
No,
he doesn't care about Bill. He doesn't care about Bill's kids.
no,
He's out in daylight, and then he's just kind of hanging out.
I
It's
don't
his,
believe
it's his
he's
joint, man.
I don't believe he's rabid, but I think he has every intention of becoming rabid just so he can give us rabies. Like intentionally go, I gave you rabies.
Right, right.
All right, so we played some golf this weekend. You play golf every weekend, but I
Yeah.
don't. I have two parts to my golf. And then we will
Okay.
ask about your I almost don't even want to give you the satisfaction. Like it's so absurd you went and played golf. But
I know. I know. Well, it is and it isn't, but we can talk about that later. It isn't. Well, we talk about it now, I guess. It isn't because I needed something to go and do, man. I needed to go and do something.
totally get that.
Um,
And I
but
like
it is because like, well, A, I couldn't get back to my house because all the exits were closed, and B, I didn't. It didn't. We hadn't discussed like the possibility of going and helping cleaning up. That was something that
last
my
minute
wife
came
had
together.
decided to do. Yeah, that had decided she was going to do that because I was gone. Basically, is why. And so that's what happened. But I totally agree. I probably should have stayed home and uh, yeah, done something. I don't know.
Anyway,
Right.
glad you're safe.
Yeah. Thanks.
But so I played on Friday, and that was before Chicago kicked off, so I'm allowed to do it.
Right.
But two observations. One, Thursday it poured out here, and as a
Yeah.
result, the course was just drenched. And I did some quick math. I've only played 3 rounds this year, post COVID. Well, not post
Hmm.
COVID, post reopening. Let's say that. That's
Okay.
the thing. We got to remind people just because we're allowed to do stuff does not mean the virus is gone.
No,
Wisconsin
it's not by any means.
Wisconsin had its highest single day of new
Yeah,
rates and deaths this past Friday than they've had since the pandemic hit. So it's not gone.
correct.
And great
Correct.
decisions you guys are making in Wisconsin. Um, but I've played these 3 rounds, and every single round has been after a massive downpour, and I have yet to play in remotely dry conditions. Like I'm walking, my cart is just drenched
Oh,
and full of mud.
yeah.
I could have like firefighter boots on, and my feet are still going to be soaked. Like it's just
Yeah.
so wet out there. But it was also the first day of the new foursome every 10 minutes, et cetera rule. Had a 5:55 tea time. That should have been
That's right.
the third-ish tea time of the day, given they were not doing the new 6:30 thing. Which, have you reached out to our buddy to see if that's time thing's a rule or a local course thing?
I did. He didn't answer that question. He did. He answered stuff about the carts,
Who does he think he is?
and but he didn't. He didn't answer that. He sent me some pictures today from a golf course he was on that I'm going to get to play, and I'm very excited about it.
Can you tell me? Can you tell me what golf course that is?
I can. Yeah, you know the golf course.
Okay.
We discussed it before,
Is it
but
that the other one? The other one where you had the following course? And people want us to hash this out in front of them, but you said the guy is like,
right.
oh, he's at this course we both want to play. Is it that course? South suburbs?
Um, no,
No. Okay.
no. We can talk about it off the air.
Okay. Guys, we're kind of big deals. All right. Anyway, so I'm
But
supposed
no,
to be like,
he didn't answer that question.
well, re-ask him because I need to know.
Fine.
Third tea time ish of the day, third-ish, I should say. Um, it's 5:55. This at this point has not been going long enough. It should have been chaos at the course. So I check. You're supposed to check in 15 minutes, no sooner than 15 minutes before your tea time.
Yeah.
And I didn't even draw it up like this. Just perfect. Getting out of my car, setting up my push cart, loading the bag up, put my shoes on, walking over there. I am there 5:40 on the dot, 15 minutes before. There's a
Mm-hmm.
foursome up on the tee, all walking, all look like they can play. I would say as I'm checking in, and mind you, when I booked my tee time, there's only one single available. So that means all 3 slots were already taken.
Yeah.
And as I'm checking in, the guy's like, your buddy's already teed off. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, you're 5:55. I go, yeah, Bush, 5:55. I was like, yeah, you're the other two in your group already teed off. I go, well, I'm a single. And he's like, oh, well, the other twosome in your group already, and I'm already teed off. Yeah, I stepped away for 1 second and they were already here and they just went off before these guys. And I'm like,
Uh,
and I'm going, okay. Like, it's not my,
yeah.
what do you,
That's not my deal, man.
and he
Yeah.
goes, do you know where's your buddy? What? Yeah, where's your second? I go, what
Jeez.
are you talking about? He goes, well, there's 4 in your group, in that whole group. And I go, and those, if you went with those guys, where's the other guy? I go, no, listen to me. I don't know who else was booked. I am a single. I booked the open single slot. 5:55. I don't know where the other guy is. I don't know who these guys are. And he's like,
Right.
well, you gotta go. You gotta catch up with your buddies. So would you stop talking about these guys being my buddies? And he's just flustered. And so I go, I'm a single, and I go, I don't know who they are. And like as I'm saying that, he's like, guys, uh, he's supposed to be with the guys that went off in front of you. And they're like, I can see in their looks like, this son of a bitch is late
Right.
for
Like,
his tea time, and we're
right.
part of this
Right.
circus. And I go, and he's like, I'm gonna send him off in front of you guys to catch up with him. Is that okay? I hope you don't mind. And they're like, no, that's fine. And as I'm walking up, I'm like, guys, I'm a single, and I had no problem waiting for him. And then because the guy finally goes, he's with the 5:55 tea time, but those guys already went off, so I got to get him to catch up with them. And they're just like, okay. So I walk up to tee,
Yeah.
haven't swung a club, anything, and I just go, like, I say to him, I'm a single. I had zero problems waiting for my tea time.
Right.
And they're like, no, it's
Right.
cool. Go ahead. So
Yeah.
I end up like teeing off in front of them, and same thing I think I talked about before. I get flustered when these situations happen. Thankfully, I hit a not great, but knowing I hadn't hit any balls and they saw what happened, I didn't feel terrible. I was still in place. So I had a pitching wedge into the green, which ended up being the driver pitching wedge, was like the definition of my day. And they're like, "Oh yeah," they're like, "Yeah, don't worry about me. It's all good." And they were cool. They were great. I
Yeah.
think they got what was happening too, and who knows? They may have had a similar interaction. Um,
Right. Right.
I'm like, "Yeah, I think those guys are already coming down on two, so you should have a problem catching them." I'm like, "Yeah, cool."
Did you catch him?
Not at all. They
No.
flew,
Okay.
and I was
That,
moving
hey,
fine. Like
good for them.
I played
Yeah.
sub 3 hour, 3 hour-ish right on the dot, and
Yeah. You had a good round.
not even sure I saw. We won't get into that. Not even sure I saw those guys. Yeah, J Riv hit me up today. He's like, "How'd you shoot Friday?" I was like, "What's happening here? This isn't."
Did you tell him?
I did.
He's just a friend asking how you played.
I don't trust anybody on that.
Yeah.
Never let him see you shoot. So anyway, never catch these guys, but it's just such a debacle. And then, I you got live texted all of this. So
I
then
did. It was fun. It was fun for me.
I'm having, and I'm having fun. It's ultimately it's fine. My issue is not anything to do with golfers, guys on the course. Um, Everything was safe and happy, and I had a great time. Now, so I have 2/3 of my rounds I've played this year have been by myself. Don't hate that. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm coming down the. All right, I'm hitting my second shot on the sixth hole, which is a par five that runs parallel with seven, and then seven runs parallel with nine. So as I'm
Sure.
sitting there, I'm hitting my second shot, 6 iron. I am like mid swing, and I hear this guy like screaming, singing, and just like a big, ooh, like top of his lungs. And I'm mid swing, and I stop, and I'm like holding the club, like one of these, right? Like, like I stop my swing, and I'm just
Yeah.
like holding my club
Put it
like
on your
this, looking
shoulder.
at him.
Yeah.
Shout out Big Mac's umbrella, by the way. These things are the best.
Oh, sneaky little product placement there.
God, that worked out. But let me tell you, I'm not even joking. I love that umbrella so much. And I would say I'm like looking at, and I'm just like, I don't care. Shit happens, right? But hey, can you stop now so I can keep mowing, keep running whatever machine you're running? That's fine. But
Yeah.
just stop it. Like I'm not. And again, where he came from, there's people in front of me. There's foursomes out. Like there are people easily out on the course.
Right. Like more than you just heard him.
Yeah, and this is a
Right.
27 hole course, by the way. So there's tons of people, and we're
Yeah.
far enough along. There's enough out there. I'm like, what? So then he sees me and stops. Okay, fine. Play my hole. Everything goes fine. I play six. I played pretty well and was still +3 on the par fives. Not bad.
It's nice.
I'm being sarcastic. If you're +3 on the par fives, like how do you play good golf?
You don't.
You don't.
Believe
Is
me,
the
I
answer.
know. I know.
Okay. So then I'm coming down 7, and that guy was working on a bunker that's between the 7th and 9th hole. Just dragging him, right? Driving
Okay.
a little tractor thing and dragging him out. Well, he's not there anymore. It's just sitting in the bunker. Okay.
The
Think nothing.
tractor?
Yeah. And I'm like, maybe he's like doing dragging a branch into the woods or taking a pee
Okay.
somewhere. Who knows, right?
Right.
And I go play 8's a par 3, quick little par 3. Played that pretty well, not a big deal. Thanks Andy Gorman for the wedge tips. 9 hit a good tee shot, and I'm like walking down 9, it's still sitting there, just sitting in the middle of this thing. And as it's like right as I get past it, another like maintenance cart just comes whipping across the hole behind me, and it's the dude and now someone else. In short, the dude killed the machine in the bunker.
Oh.
And whether ran out of gas, who knows what, but it was stuck in the
Whatever.
bunker, and he had to go
Yeah.
get backup. And I did see him later on the course in a different t-shirt, which was odd. But I did see him later on the course working on stuff, so the issue must have gotten resolved. But I go, of course, the guy who's like screaming, singing on the course and being a distraction is also the guy who gets the knucklehead who gets his cart stuck in the or his tractor
Yeah.
stuck in a bunker. And then
I have a great Scotty story about a tractor on a not on a golf course, but at a driving range that I'll share someday.
all
Maybe we can
right,
have Scotty come on and tell it because it's amazing.
Scotty, you quit. You need to hop on the show real quick. So then, whatever. It was fine the rest of the way. There was one time on a par five, I hit on one of the par fives that I bogeyed, hit a bad shot, and the guy who's running a weed whacker over by some trees and some bunkers stops so I can hit my shot, and I look at him and go, "Oh, dude, don't worry about it. Keep
Yeah,
working. It
yeah.
won't bother me. You're fine." And he's just like, "Okay." And so that was fine. And that was fine. Like he didn't do anything wrong. I'm not saying like he did, but that's my point. I'm pretty patient and easy with this. Like, dude, don't stop doing your job because I'm playing.
Yeah, that's
It's
how
one
I
thing if
am
we're
too.
like in a
Yeah,
game with four people. I'm a single. Just go ahead. It's not, I don't care.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and then as I feel like I'm wrapping up the text of all this, dude, because I have to, it's in text. I have to convey the details somehow. It takes time, and I still got to play golf. Like, just wrap it up. I play the 16th hole, another par five, like dog shit, but thanks to the old Andy Gorman wedge tips, I get up and down for par. We're fine. Um, I go to the 17th hole after literally getting a text from you. That's brutal. And I go, where are my tee markers? And then I find them,
Oh,
and they're
that's
set
right.
up.
That's right.
They're the only ones set up on just right next to each other like this.
Right.
I was,
Right.
you guys are struggling out here today. And of course, you're like, what's a big deal? You can figure it. I'm like, yeah, I can. That's not the point. My point is, this golf course was clearly a goddamn circus. And just weren't on top of their games that day. I don't know if it was the pressure of the new setup, which by all means, I was impressed with. Things seemed to be firing. Range looked good. They had like, there's two sides to the golf shop, so they had like both sets of doors open, so you had like an air
Nice.
draft going through there.
Yeah.
That I would have been perfectly fine going in that golf shop. um yeah, nothing screamed debacle to me, and a lot of people still walking, not taking carts.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was
That's what.
go ahead.
No, that's what we experienced today too, with the new restrictions or lesser restrictions. Actually, the course that we played, their range wasn't open yet. They hadn't opened it yet. The putting green. Here's the thing about the practice green that I didn't like. Practice green is open, but there weren't any sort of noodles like pool noodles in the practice green cups.
So our guys, they left the like little flag sticks in,
Yeah,
which I'm sort of like, well, great. So now everyone's gonna go have to pick that up to get their ball out,
right.
whatever. But
And so
then
I sunk one golf ball and I was like, oh no, I'm not doing this.
now everyone's got to reach in the hole. If you don't, so the
Right.
other option is don't put anything there. You know what? Maybe though. Hang on, I didn't, because of you heard of how I started my round. I didn't check out the practice screen. If they left the flags in but had the little noodles around them, I'm good. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I think that's going to be something these courses need to navigate a little. I mean, right now,
Yeah, I mean it was easy for me because I just picked a spot on the green. I'm like, I'll just hit to the spot just to kind of get the feel of the greens. Even though my entire round I never got the feel of the greens.
I was
I
gonna
just
say
couldn't figure it out
I would have been
today.
like, oh, I have time to putt. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm just gonna sit here. That's fine.
No, I mean I did, and I tried to pay attention to that stuff, and then I got out there, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Everything was short, and then I'm like, all right, I'm done being short. So then everything was 5 feet long. I was like, whatever, man. That was my biggest complaint of the round for the most part, because otherwise I did play pretty well. I probably hit the front nine. I got hot. I probably must have hit every fairway on the front nine.
See, I wasn't hitting fairways
It
per
was
se, but
great.
I was like, so I'm kind of worried because I've actually played fairly well all three rounds this year. which
Mhm.
means there is definitely an impending fall from grace. It's coming, and it's going to be ugly. Let's be clear. And
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Look, I don't want that handicap getting too low. Um, but I was playing with um with my buddy the other day. You know, I'm starting to hear this story coming out of my mouth. I'm like, this is gonna be so self-serving. I'm not even getting into it. Um, Putting sucks. Okay, let's just say
All
that.
right, great. Right.
And I'm sorry
But
you
I
had a
will
hard time putting.
yeah, I will say about the round that we played today. It was our first round, I think. We played last week after the torrential downstorm or downpour, and it was brutal to walk.
Yep.
It was just so brutal
Feel
to
it like in
walk.
your ankles and your
Oh
calves. You're
my
just
god,
like,
it's just
yeah.
brutal. Yeah.
Hey,
But today it was dry. It was nice. Course is well maintained. Greens were slow. But I've never played that golf course before, so I don't know if that's how the greens are or if that's how the greens will just be for now or what. But I couldn't get the hang of those for a little while. Um, I never really got the hang of them at all, actually. Now I think about it, but otherwise, it's a fun golf course. It's a 27 hole golf course. Apparently the two nines that we played were pretty similar, very wide open, very forgiving. For the most part, there is some water in play in here and there, but no like forced carries or anything like that. Um, but I think the third nine is much kind of more parkland style, many more trees, much more kind of targety golf, that kind of thing. But we didn't get a chance to play that. But yeah, it was fun. It
hey,
turned out to be a nice day. It was a good time to get out and not think about things. And I listened to some very sort of, for me anyways, calm and soothing music while I played. So
so wait,
it was good.
you and Josh play together, but listen to me. Oh, on your speaker. I'm thinking in headphones, right?
No, no, on a speaker. Yeah,
I
I
was
have a
gonna say,
little.
I'm like,
Have you? Oh, you haven't seen my? Yeah, I didn't get the full setup. So the Big Max. Another shout out to Big Max. My cart is like perfectly, incredibly well designed for all my little made up. I mean, I've got all the other like add-ons. I've got the cooler bag. I've got the little, I don't know what you want to call it, kind of uh, bag that goes on the bottom of the cart, push cart. I've got the GPS holder on the push cart. And then I've also found out that the way they've constructed the handle, it's perfect to actually wrap your rangefinder around. Like it's, your little Velcro strap fits perfect on there. And then I
if
have,
your rangefinder has that setup, yeah.
correct, right. And then I have a little Bose speaker that will wrap around and kind of connect to itself. And it's the perfect design for that too. So I have a little tiny,
I'm a JBL guy personally.
yeah, see, but that's not, you can't, that's too bulky.
I don't use it for golf. I don't like.
Oh,
I don't have a problem listening to music. Like if you were like, "Hey, we're playing. I'm listening to music," I wouldn't be like, "Yo, son of a bitch, no."
yeah, I don't do that though. I ask first. I
Well,
always
no,
ask like,
I'd
"Are
be
you
like,
okay with
"No,
it?"
that's fine. I don't care." But if I'm going by my like, I don't bring a speaker. Like I don't listen to music when I play because I
Oh
thought
man, I love it.
so I brought my headphones in case something for work happened because I've been having a terrible run at work lately. I brought my earbuds just in case. I'm like, you know what? Maybe
Yeah,
I never do it, but if I have them with me, maybe I'll just listen to some music. I'm like, no. How am I gonna hear the sweet sounds of the maintenance guys singing
right.
if I
If you've
have
got headphones
earbuds
in,
in?
yeah.
Hey, shout out to me for catching I was about to sound like the ultimate golf douche that I can't stand and just I don't care if it's detrimental to my podcast. I'm just pulling the plug. Just pulling the plug. Nope, you know what? Gwah.
Yeah, we're not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I just have to
Yeah.
stop.
Anyways, I love music on the golf course. And in fact, today, because we were playing with two people that we didn't know, moment of silence for two sums 15 minutes apart. Can I just say that? Because that
Mm.
was just the best.
Or at the
But we
same
were
time, at
playing.
least maybe we can play golf together soon. So
Well, yeah, that's true. Someday. I mean, God knows with your own self restrictions, but uh, I kept the volume very very low, and at every tee box I turned it off. So
okay,
I tried.
was that by their request or just your doing?
No, they didn't request it, but they didn't seem
Oh, I hear
like,
sirens. I hear sirens.
yeah. It's true.
You see anything? Oh, I saw him. I saw him reflecting in the building.
Yeah, that was all day yesterday. All day yesterday. That's only one I think that just went down.
Man, guys,
Yeah,
you're getting it live.
it's real time.
Live-ish, real time.
It's real time right there, my friends. They didn't seem like they were. They maybe a bit. I mean, I didn't ask. I was just like, oh, whatever, it's fine. I'll just keep it to myself, and it's fine.
Good enough.
So yeah.
All right.
But
Well,
man, if I could have, it's always one of those things, right? If you could, well, for me, anyways. Um, you got one or two things going in the game, and the third thing isn't working, or vice versa. And as I got closer to the green, I got, well, not even that. Just when I got onto the green, I had plenty of looks for birdies and pars, and I just couldn't convert.
and then at some point, as John, you just hit that spot, like where John from driverangeheroes.com says, he'll just go, "Can you just let me be sad?" You'd be like, "Man, you're hitting him. Wow, just nothing's falling." It's like, "Hey, I know. Can you just let me be sad?"
I like that. I'm 100% stealing that.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That is a good one.
I've used it plenty since. All right. We got a lot going on. We probably both need to calm our heads down a little bit so we can sleep tonight and pretend we can do our jobs with a clear mind tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're glad you're okay. Glad everyone in your household at least is safe.
Yeah.
And hey, look, start of a new week. We'll do this again tomorrow. In the meantime, Chris, it's been a pleasure.
As always, William,
All right.
love you.
Love you too, bud. I will talk to everybody tomorrow.